So in my opinion, if you have an opportunity to do something that makes history, you got to do it. So if it comes down to it at the end of the year and the Eagles have a chance to go 17-0, you do it. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and happy Football Friday to all you Dingbats out there. You know, there comes a time, very, very seldom, that you get to do something like go undefeated on the season. It just doesn't happen. And when given a chance to do something great, to do something historic, I think you gotta let your players take their shot. Now, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe. We do Eagles every day. We stream every Eagles game, unless we're suspended. But we're back now. We will be streaming the Eagles Monday night. We'll also be streaming the Giants game, the Cowboys game. We'll be watching that Saints game too. And we'll be doing the Sunday night game. So look for all those things. And if you've been subscribed for a while, what can I say? You know the deal. Double check. Double moonwalk check. Make sure you're still subscribed. Now, this is a what-if scenario video, right? Because I've seen a lot of talk this week about the Eagles aren't really that good of an 8-0 team, or the Eagles, you know, they won't get to the point where they're playing to be undefeated. We hear a lot of things. We also hear, well, they got an easy schedule, it's possible. All those things we're hearing. First off, let me say this. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles are the most disrespected, shoved aside 8-0 team I've ever seen. I've never seen a team go 8-0 and then people talk like, that team ain't nothing. They haven't done nothing. They're not that good. They only beat bad teams. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, especially when one of the teams you beat only has one loss on the year, and it was to you. I think the Eagles are the most disrespected team there is. And I get a lot of questions from people asking me, hey, look, if somehow we are 17-0, do you go for it? Or, you know, if you're 16-0, do you go for that 17-0? Do you go for the undefeated season? Would you sit the players if you've clinched everything, or do you play them? So I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on this. And this is just a hypothetical. I'm not even looking ahead. This is just a hypothetical. Remember, you know, I don't play for the Eagles. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not putting on the helmet, although I wish I could, but I'm not. I'm just a fan. So me looking, you know, into the future is not the same thing as the team doing. I am not hurting anything by doing it. I'm just simply talking about what I think the Eagles should do if given the situation, right? First off, we've got to say this. I don't expect the Eagles to go 17-0. I'm not expecting it. I do expect the loss to happen. Where? I don't know. We'll look at the schedule in a minute. But I imagine they'll have one or two losses when it's all said and done. But if given an opportunity to actually go undefeated on the season and then go in the playoffs, I think you got to do it. I mean, you have a chance to be immortal, to be remembered with the 72 Dolphins. I mean, no other team has done that except for that one team Miami had. If you have an opportunity to do it, you've got to do it. You've got to take your shot. So if we're at the last game of the season when we play the New York Giants, and let's say the Giants, let's say they have to win to get in, or maybe they even clinch too. I don't sit my starters. I play them. I play them. I try to win the game. I try to go undefeated. I think it's a big, important factor. And the one thing we also have to remember is you're going to get every team's best. You're going to be a giant target. The Eagles are a giant target. You know why Houston? One of the reasons why Houston played so good, they wanted to be the first team to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, to beat the last undefeated team on the field. Also, playing on Thursday didn't help us. But you're going to get every team's best. This week, playing Washington on Monday Night Football, they would love nothing more than to come to Philly on a national stage in front of a national audience on Monday Night Football and knock out the only remaining undefeated team on the season. They would absolutely love it. We are going to get Washington's best shot. So we're going to have to be ready to play each and every week to our best. Now, if the Eagles play up to what they're capable of, if they match the intensity as the teams are playing, they should be fine. I mean, look at this schedule. You got week 10, you got the Washington Commanders, right? What a stupid name. What a stupid logo. What a stupid owner. I just absolutely hate that name. It just does not fit the NFC East. I will never, ever, ever, ever get used to it. I think it stinks. But we play them on Monday Night Football. We are double-digit favorites. We should beat them, right? So that would take us to 9-0. The following week, we got to play 1 o'clock Eastern at Indianapolis. Now, the only issue you may have a little bit with this game is you're coming off a Monday night game, so it's a short week. But the Colts, I mean, what can we really expect from the Indianapolis Colts to this point? Jeff Saturday takes over as an intern coach. I'm going to make no judgment on whether he's the guy or not. It was a weird signing. It came out of nowhere. But I make no judgment. We'll see what he does. But for all intents and purposes, the Indianapolis Colts aren't that good. The Eagles should be able to go down there and win. Okay? I don't sweat them. So I think the Eagles win that game. Now, when they win that game, all of a sudden the Eagles are 10-0. 10-0. And if you look at Dallas and the Giants, you have to start to wonder, where are they going to be? If let's say Dallas loses to Green Bay and Minnesota, the Eagles would be 4 games up on them. 4.5 games up. It'd be heading to winning the division before you get to Christmas Eve, you know. But I think 10-0. The following week, the Eagles got to play on Sunday Night Football. They're going to play the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are a mess right now. If you look at that team, they're an absolute mess. Okay? I don't think the Packers can come in and score points on the Eagles. First of all, I don't know who Aaron Rodgers is going to throw to against the Eagles secondary. To me, Green Bay's life is on the line Sunday versus Dallas. If they're going to turn around the season, if they're going to make anything happen good this season, they've got to beat the Dallas Cowboys. If they don't beat the Dallas Cowboys, it's time to shut them down. I'm picking Dallas to win that game, unfortunately, but I think Green Bay should be a win for us. So that would take us to 11-0, right? Now, this is an interesting game. Week 13, Tennessee Titans. If you look at the Eagles and you look at the run game that they had that Thursday versus the Texans and some other points during the season, it scares the hell out of you. Derrick Henry, he should get 30 carries that game, right? Because the way the Eagles played run defense was bad. However, the Eagles are going to target Derrick Henry. They're going to be focused on the run. And I think they'll probably sell out on the run a lot more. Now, I like Malik Willis. I think he's going to be good. I actually said before the season started that Tannehill would lose his starting job at some point and Malik Willis would come in and take over. Now Tannehill is injured. I don't know how long he's out, but I wouldn't give the job back to him. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't give the job back to Tannehill. To me, Malik Willis would be my starter. Now, he runs the ball well as well, so it's going to be interesting. I think this is the first... Week 13, I would circle as the first real threat for the Eagles in terms of possibly losing. Because I think the style of play of the Titans, if the Eagles aren't playing their best, and they're going to, the Eagles, every week they win, the target gets bigger and bigger. Teams get more up for it, okay? So you have... You saw how focused Houston was to try to beat us. You're going to get Washington's best. You're going to get the Colts' best. You're going to get Green Bay's best. And by week 13, the chatter for undefeated, if the Eagles are, 12-0 or 11-0, it's going to start to get really, really loud. That's all we're going to hear about by the mainstream news. I think the week 13 threat to Tennessee is real. That it could be a legitimate spot. Now, let's say the Eagles, for argument's sake, let's say the Eagles lost this game to the Tennessee Titans. It's not the worst thing in the world, okay? Because you're losing to an AFC team does not hurt your NFC conference tiebreakers or anything like that. So, unless Minnesota is breathing down our throat and only has one loss at the time too, the Eagles should be fine. They should be good to go. But Tennessee Titans, that's the first real threat I see. And let me say this: I think Tennessee won't beat the Eagles. This is A.J. Brown's coming home. I think the Eagles will still win. It's still in Philly. I like the Eagles to win this game, but I do think that the way that Tennessee plays football could be the first shot where we can say, all right, if somebody's going to do it on the schedule, it's going to be them. Then they got the New York Giants at New York. Listen, NFC East games are never easy. I joke around a lot about Dallas. I give the Cowboys a hard time, but these games are never easy. You don't think that Giants will probably be 8 or 9 wins by then. So you think the Giant fans aren't going to be pumped up for this game? I mean, unless the Giants have a major malfunction from now till when the Eagles play, they are going to be pumped up for this game. This game is going to be insane at the Meadowlands. And the Giants with Saquon Barkley, that would be their only shot. So it's like, once again, with the Tennessee Titans. If the New York Giants run the ball, run Saquon Barkley 30 times, and the Eagles can't stop the run, Giants will have a shot to win. So this is a game that I would put under the flag of, we'll see. This could be a possible situation too. However, if the Eagles go up on the Giants, they're done. I don't think Daniel Jones is that good. I don't think he's a good enough quarterback to come back on the Eagles. But I would say week 13, week 14, I think are threats. Then the Eagles have to go to Chicago. I don't worry about that game. That game I'm not worried about at all. Even though it's in Soldier Field, does not scare me. Week 16, Christmas Eve. Now, just like I said with the Giants, and if we're just being honest, and I'm not busting balls, which, I sometimes bust balls with the Cowboy fans, half-truths, bust balls. I know what triggers them and gets them all worked up. I do believe the Eagles are going to sweep Dallas. I really do. But this is another game where the Eagles would have a possibility. Could you imagine Dallas, Christmas Eve, undefeated? First off, at this point, week 16, if the Eagles are undefeated, they've already probably clinched the division, especially because they would have had to stay undefeated. They would have had to beat the Giants in New York. Most likely by December 24th, going into this game, they've already clinched the division. I think this game will be for the division, but if the Eagles are undefeated at week 16, they probably clinch the division. So sometimes you come down a little bit, sometimes you take something off. This could be a situation. Now, let's say the Eagles are undefeated. They've clinched the division. They're well on their way to home field advantage, or perhaps maybe even got it. And they lose to Dallas. Who cares? I mean, I hate to lose out, but who cares? If we've won the division, maybe clinched home field, or we're about to, if we win one more game, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But it would be interesting if the Eagles were undefeated going in that game. Now, if the Eagles beat Dallas and remain undefeated, they play the New Orleans Saints at home. They're going to destroy the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints stink. And this is an important win because we want a top 5 pick. So this is another loss for the Saints. Saints got to come to Philly. This will be New Year's Day. And it's a 1 o'clock game. Saints don't do good in Northeast outside in cold weather. And then the following week, if the Eagles are undefeated, week 18 versus the New York Giants. Home field, the division, everything is clinched. And then this is going to be the coach's choice, the team's choice. Do you want to play to be undefeated and go for greatness? Or do you want to rest and get ready for the playoffs? To me, with the bye week, I would go in and play my starters. If I'm undefeated week 18, going in to play the Giants at home, Giants may be sitting their starters, but I'm keeping mine out, at least for half, and see where I'm at the half. But I got to take a chance. I got to take a chance and try to go undefeated. It comes around too often. It's too hard to do. That, if you can do it, you're immortal. So I think you got to take a chance. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't expect this. I don't expect the Eagles to be undefeated. I think they'll probably have at least 2 losses coming into this game. It'll probably happen. It's going to happen some point, most likely. But what if, you never know, yeah, I got to take my chance. But I'm curious to see what you guys would think. Let me know in the comment section. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. So my kids are demanding this weekend Christmas stuff up. They want their Christmas stuff up. So we're going to start to get it up. Plus, Christmas Story 2, Christmas Story A Story is coming out like Thursday. I got to watch it. I don't know about you guys, but like the original, that's all I watch Christmas Eve. I sit back on the couch, I drink eggnog, I watch Christmas Story, I eat, I get fat, I get merry. Ho, 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 yo, yo, yo. Denzel Washington out.